Footnotes from the Life Application Study Bible. The Pharisees were the other major party in the Jewish High Council with the Sadducees. The Pharisees were the strict keepers of the law, not only God's law, but also hundreds of other rules they had added to God's law. They were careful about outward purity, but many had hearts full of impure motives. Jesus confronted the Pharisees often during his ministry on earth. Oddly enough, a Pharisee named Gamaliel became an unexpected ally for the apostles, although he probably did not support their teachings. He was a distinguished member of the council and a teacher. While Gamaliel may have saved the apostles' lives, his real intentions probably were to prevent a division in the council and to avoid inciting the Romans. The apostles were popular among the people, and killing them might start a riot. Gamaliel's advice to the council gave the apostles some breathing room to continue their work. The council decided to wait, hoping that this would all fade away harmlessly. They couldn't have been more wrong. Ironically, Paul, later one of the greatest apostles, was one of Gamaliel's students. Peter and John had been warned repeatedly not to preach, but they continued despite the threats. We, too, should live as Jesus has asked us to, sharing our faith no matter the cost. We may not be beaten or thrown in jail, but we may be ridiculed, ostracized, or slandered. To what extent are you willing to suffer for the sake of sharing the good news with others? Have you ever thought of persecution as a blessing, as something worth rejoicing about? This beating, suffered by Peter and John, was the first time any of the apostles had been physically abused for their faith. These men knew how Jesus had suffered, and they praised God that he had allowed them to be persecuted like their Lord. If you are mocked or persecuted for your faith, it isn't because you're doing something wrong, but because God has counted you worthy to suffer disgrace for the name of Jesus. Home Bible studies are not new. As the believers needed to grow in their new faith, home Bible studies met their needs and also served as a means to introduce new people to the Christian faith. During later times of persecution, meeting in homes became the primary method of passing on Bible knowledge. Christians throughout the world still use this approach when under persecution and as a way to disciple new believers, support one another, and worship God together.